Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Goldmine Report, where we talk about all things 49ers all the time. My name is Jeff Malinoff, and today, we got to talk about Eagles-Niners Week 2 recap. Niners go off to a 2-0 start after a 17-11 win over Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Their first home game with fans in like 600 plus days. That was a rabid crowd looking for blood, and the Niners were not having it. They kept up, granted after a slow start, picked up pace, and held on to the W. Now, let's talk about the good things before the negatives, because there's a couple negatives we need to discuss. But first, how the Niners played in a very hostile environment. Way more hostile than Detroit, no offense to Detroit, but comparing you guys to Eagles is a little unfair. Eagle fans are a little more wild than Detroit fans are, and Detroit is looking at a down year, and Eagles are hoping for an up year after the big win over the Atlanta Falcons in Week 1, so it was a big game for sure. Started off pretty slow, like the first game did for the Niners against Detroit. Pretty bad. Running game was not there, passing wasn't really there, and the first quarter looked like it was going to be a tough matchup. But the Niners got a couple lifelines, something Seattle Seahawks know all too well. The Niners got lifelines. The touchdown in the first half was called back against Philadelphia after multiple steps on the out of bounds, so it wasn't counted. That was a big one that led to a field goal. So we were down 3-0 going into the second half. But Deebo Samuel, another big game, 93 yards receiving, one of those big things that got us a touchdown in the second quarter. At the end of the second quarter, Juwan Jennings hits his first NFL catch and a first NFL touchdown for him. I've always been a big fan of him ever since we drafted him in the 7th round. The Niners don't go after 6'4", 6'3" wide receivers, but they have Juwan Jennings, who is that caliber, that description of a player. So I like that a lot of him, and I think he's going to be more of an asset than people realize. So that big first touchdown for him. Congratulations to Juwan Jennings. Kept up with it last year, didn't really play, was on injury reserve, was on practice squad stuff, comes in, scores his first catch, first touchdown. Congratulations once again to Juwan Jennings. So, looking at that, first half, 7-3, looking pretty good. And then they start picking up more pace. Good defensive stops, good offense. Garoppolo throwing the ball like 30 times, which is really rare in all things considered. And looking at that, I really liked what I saw in Garoppolo. Not at first, but at the end of the game, he was really just firing on all cylinders, really good throws. There was some, especially on Twitter, there were some not nice things to say about Garoppolo, saying, put in Trey Lance, he's done. Trey Lance didn't see the field once this game, which I liked. I did like that because, look at how Trevor Lawrence did. Look how Zach Wilson did. Don't put the kid in right away. You got time to marinate the kid, so keep doing that. I'm always going to be an advocate of that for this whole season. So, again, passing game looked pretty solid, all things considered. Running game looked good until everyone got hurt. Everyone who has an RB on the depth chart got hurt. Elijah Mitchell has a shoulder issue. I think it's probably a stinger. He's going to be day-to-day. Trey Sherman, his first carry with the Niners. Exciting time. Gets an 8-yard run. Nearly breaks his neck on the most dangerous hit I've ever seen. He lost the ball, understandably, because his neck went like this to this. It just, like, this is him going in, and then all of a sudden it's like this, and then it comes back up. Like, that's a scary hit. That's a very scary hit. Fortunately, he was okay and walked under his own power. He's on concussion protocol. I guess that means no neck issues. It's mainly concussion issues. That play got called back after Philadelphia recovered the fumble. Looked like a big momentum swift. They called a personal foul call. He did tuck his head in, honestly, so I understand the call, but you guys are moving so fast, it's just hard to stop in that situation. But went the Niners' way again, got the ball back, so that was a scary thing. And then Jermichael Hasty has a high ankle sprain, so he's going to be out for a while. So all the Niner running backs are hurt. Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Trey Sherman, Elijah Mitchell, Jermichael Hasty. All 5 running backs are hurt. Not good. So what the Niners did is get Kerryon Johnson. He's going to be probably starting. Then we get Duke Johnson and Lamar Murray, who are coming in, trying out with the Niners, getting a workout in with the Niners. So the three-headed monster might become Lamar Miller, Duke Johnson, and Kerryon Johnson. I wouldn't have guessed that at the beginning of the season either. So, looking at that, but there is good news about that. Not about the injuries, of course, but just good news about the Niners' running game in general. Kyle Shanahan's offense is so good for the running backs. Whoever is the running back will thrive. It doesn't matter who's running the ball, they're going to thrive. Jeff Wilson thrived. Raheem Mostert thrived. Elijah Mitchell thrived. Three guys who went on, they're all journeymen, undrafted guys, 6th-round pick guys who would not expect to be top guys, were running the ball 100-plus yards. 2 of them did last year, and now, Raheem Mostert did the NFC Championship game. Jeff Wilson had a 100-yard game last year, and now Elijah Mitchell had a 100-yard game in his first game with the Niners. So whoever is running the ball in the 49ers offense will thrive. It just matters who has the ball. So it really doesn't matter who has the ball because the Niners offense is so pure that they can thrive regardless. So whoever's behind the quarterback, whoever's the running back position in Week 3 against the Packers, Sunday Night Football, I'm excited to see how they do. I don't think that game plan is going to change at all. They're going to keep running the ball. They keep with the running attack, especially against the Packers, who we know we can run down their throats. And they're going to be aware of that because they know the history with the 49ers, so they're going to be ready for it. Play action passes, Deebo Samuel's going to go off. Ayuk might get in a play or two. We won't get into that because I think Ayuk, it's just a matter of time before he gets into his own group of things and he's going to thrive himself in this league. But Trent Sherfield's just doing such an awesome job. Why not have him as running wide receiver number 2 right now? So it makes sense having Sherfield in the game. So, looking at all that, Niners look good. 2-0 start. Last time we were 2-0, we went to the Super Bowl. Knock on wood. This is wood, by the way, so I'm not going to correct wood. But, looking at that, looking at next week. Let's look at next week now. Niners, Packers, Sunday Night Football, prime time against Aaron Rodgers. This is before Rodgers versus Detroit, so we'll see how he does against Detroit. I do have him on my fantasy team, so I hope he does good. Fortunately, I might bench him against the Niners for Jameis Winston. He's my backup, so I don't like having guys against the Niners on my fantasy team because I hate that. But we'll see what the outcome is there. But looking at, I think we need the Packers to win this game. We need to win them handily. We need them to win in a complete blowout. They destroyed Detroit like 62-0 kind of game or 63-0 kind of game. Because if they do, they'll get the groove back. All right, we're back in this Super Bowl contenders. Here we go. The Niners get slammed. That's how this should happen. So we hope for the Packers win because I don't want to face a Packers team, especially a Rodgers who starts 0-2. I need a Rodgers who's kind of cocky. I need a Packers team who's kind of cocky, who thinks they're better than they think they are, and then the Niners trash them. That's what I need to happen here. So, Niners, Packers. Niners are 3-point favorites last time I checked. I think that's a good bet. So, looking at that, hoping the Packers win tonight, Niners could start off 3-0. Not going to win again. And I like it. I like how the Niners have been playing, especially on the defensive side. Nick Bosa, 2 sacks. One of them was a strip sack. Awesome. Should have been recovered by the Niners, but he got lucky. The tight end was right here. The ball went punch, and he ran in his hands after a great sack by Bosa. And then Bosa goes over the left tackle, grabs Jalen Hurts, and throws him to the ground for his second sack. Bosa had the only sacks of the game. 2 sacks for Bosa. Only person with a sack recorded in that game for both sides of both of Eagles and the 49ers. So that shows Bosa is looking pretty darn good right now. I like how Lenoir was playing too. Cornerback, rookie from Oregon, played really well against Devontae Smith. Didn't really let him have much of the ball. He had 7 targets, 2 catches only. Devontae Smith was non-existent in that game. Lenoir did great coverage. Josh Norman got 2 pass interference calls. Both were kind of tacky, especially the one in the end zone. The one in the end zone barely touched the guy, and they called it pass interference, even though we've seen so many horrible pass interference calls that were not called at all. Not even in this game, but just in this week too, which were absurd. So I think Josh Norman's going to get back into things. I think he's still playing pretty solid. Again, if you don't really hear the guy's name, especially on defense, they're doing a solid job, especially how they were doing secondary. I think the secondary really standed out. I think they played extremely well. The quarterback pressures were constant. But the one thing bothered me is how many times Jalen Hurts scrambled and got to the outside and got like a 5-yard gain. If we're going to beat the Cardinals when that game comes up, or we're going to beat the Seahawks in the 2 weeks from now, we have to have outside containment and a QB spy linebacker. If Warner just stays as a QB spy, and whoever's the defensive ends, doesn't matter who they are, if they just keep trying to go to the outside instead of just trying to cut in, because I saw D4 trying to cut in a little bit, and then Hurts saw that and scrambled out. If D4 keeps going like this, Hurts has to go in there, and there's a linebacker probably waiting for him. QB spy gets him. So that's what I want. I want the defensive linemen to go, or defensive ends, to try to break their lines outside to keep scramblers contained, which we have Kyler Murray twice and Russell Wilson twice, and making sure we have a QB spy in those games. So it's going to be important. This was a learning experience against scrambling QBs, I hope, for our rookie DC. So I hope they listen to this. And QB spy linebacker Fred Warner, most likely, or Ashair, who's doing absolutely great for himself, and making sure those defensive ends try to break outside instead of trying to cut inside, because that leaves wide open holes. So hopefully that works out. Maybe less man-to-man coverage. Maybe zone coverage will be better in that situation against scrambling QBs. But before we get there, we got to beat the Packers. We got to beat the Pack. They beat us last year, but we were injured beyond anything else. MRI machine broke, plane broke, stadium broke. Everyone broke in last year, so that doesn't count. That is null and void. This is a healthy, somewhat team. We got our superstars are healthy. Knocking on wood. So, with everyone who is a game changer that is healthy against the Packers, I'm feeling very good about the Niners going 3-0 against the Packers. They have a 3-point spread right now. Niners are -3. I'd like that. Take that bet if you want. I have them money line just so I watch the game. I'm not worried about the spread. In my parlay, I just have them as money line, just playing it safe. But if you want to take the spread, take the spread. Totally worth it. But that is our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be here next Monday recapping Packers, Niners, Sunday Night Football. And remember, people, stay faithful.